This is the pipe organ that I built mostly in December of 1993, and it's always lived in my living room up until late 2015 when Harriet was born and we needed more room, and then I moved it out to a shed, and then when we moved, I moved it into the basement. But now that we've got a bigger house, it's in the living room again. And over these 26 years, some of these hoses have gotten rather disgusting. This has gotten sticky and the dust sticks to it. The plastifier is basically coming to the surface. So I bought some new hose and I've been replacing some of the hoses here. And then of course making sure all the pipes still work, and some of them had got some dirt in them. And also the wind chest, it turns out a mouse had gotten in there. And it mostly works now. Except for this note, and that's this pipe here, and that one just won't sound right at all. I gotta revoice this one. The geometry on here was never really worked that well. So what I'm gonna do is reconstruct the mouth of this pipe. So this area in here will look kind of like a workshop someday. The more organized part is in this room, and I just actually put up a couple of lights just now because I haven't actually filmed anything in here yet. It's a small bedroom. So the way I made my original organ pipes is I actually had the top here extend to the side, which means I could have a bit more flexibility in terms of exactly how I positioned that for the gap that goes in here. But this is actually kind of a terrible design, and I got the mouth a little bit wrong here too, so I glued another piece of wood on there. So I'm just going to cut all that flat off and redo this part. So here's my wedge that'll replace this part here, and it should come to about here. So I'll need to cut it off right here. And then this part goes on here, and I need a gap underneath here to let the air out. Well, it's not unusual for a newly made organ pipe to sound like crap. It needs tweaking, and that process is called voicing. I think I may have made this slot in here a little bit too wide. It's quite wide, so I'll sand that down a little bit. I've been trying different shims to raise this part up a little bit, or even make an entirely different gap by putting a shim on here like so, but I just can't get this pipe to sound right. And looking at it here, I remember in the past I had some issues with leakage here. If there's just a little bit of leakage here, that can really mess up the vibrations.
There's some leakage right here. And a leak right here too on the back.
So I've identified a leak right here and here. This one's a little more obvious. I cut a slot where there's the leak in the joint. And on the other side, I cut a block that fits in this area here. Looks like leakage was the problem. While the glue dries, let me explain what's going on this end of the pipe. When I originally made all these pipes, I calculated how long they should be, made them, tested them, measured the frequency, and then calculated how much they were too low by and cut a proportionate fraction off the end. Some of these I got it off a little bit, like this one. I could lower the pitch a tiny bit by putting an obstruction in the end of the pipe, but this one was too far off, so I had to extend it to bring it back down. Part of my way of tweaking these pipes is to blow air at the mouth or at here, and that kind of directs the airstream further in or further out, and if either one of those improves the sound a bit, I know I need to change the aim a little bit.